Good evening, ladies. Welcome to the Sunday night reset for the Single Mom KC. My name is Dawn Kappelman, and I'm so glad you're joining me for my series on finding hope in Psalms 23. A couple of announcements. First of all, we've got a few things coming up. On our Tuesday talk this week, Valerie's going to be talking on her series. She's been going to be talking about preparing to date. So if you're interested, you need to join us on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. We also, for the kids out there, we have on March 13th at 10 a.m. Get your kids around the TV and I encourage you to join Story Time with Don. He is awesome, and I'm looking forward to seeing as he shares the story with the children. So I encourage you to put it on your calendar and have them join the 13th at 10 a.m. And then lastly, March 17th, our children's director, Kim, is going to be talking about our dream for our kids and giving you a preview into the Single Mom KC's children's program curriculum, and it's really good. So I encourage you to join and to check out what your children are in for this year with the Single Mom KC. So, as I said, my name is Dawn. Have been a single mom most of my life. I have 3 children. All are grown. I have 2 in college and 1 who's married. And I have a beautiful granddaughter. And I have really been enjoying digging into Psalm 23. And just for single moms, there's so much hope in this chapter. So let's get started. So if you haven't had a chance and were able to see my first 2, you just go to our Facebook page under videos and you can catch up on session 1 and 2. So in the first session, we learned that God is our shepherd, and just like shepherds, he is our protector and he guides us. He will always provide us with what we need. And then in the second session, in verse 2, we learned that sheep do not always know what they need or what's best of them, and that they are 100% dependent on their shepherd. And just as the shepherd knows best what's best for them, God knows what's best for us, and we need to trust him to help us. We also learned the shepherd knows when they need still water, and God knows when we need, even in the stormiest of days, he will always calm the storm for us. And how he does this and what he wants us to do is to make time. Rest your body, still your minds, and connect with God, and know that he is with you through it all. It's in that stillness that we learn more about God and we're able to grow to be like him. So let's dig into the verse this week, Psalms 23:3. And the verse says, he restores my soul. He guides me in paths of righteousness for his name's sake. And when you think about those words, he restores my soul, wow, those are really 4 very powerful words. And I was looking in at this verse in different Bible verses, and here are just a few of the things that the word stated in the different versions. First of all, he refreshes our soul. He restores our soul. He gives me new strength. He renews my strength. He restores and revives my life. And lastly, true to your work, you let me catch my breath. Have you ever felt like you needed a moment to catch your breath? I'm telling you, I know I have. And as single moms, we often feel overwhelmed and guilty and alone and rejected. And it's something I know we can all relate to. And I know for me, I know I've felt all these things, and sometimes all at once. The good news is God will restore our soul, and he'll reach in that deepest part of our soul to a place where nothing else can touch, and he will restore it, and he will heal your heart. In the book Shepherds looks at Psalm 23. Philip Keller talks about cast sheep. And what that means is that sheep will sometimes go astray. And what happens, they'll roll over on their backs accidentally, and there's no way for them to turn back over. And that likely, if they aren't found by the shepherd, it's fatal. So that's why it's so important for a shepherd to always count their sheep, because they will go astray, and the chances are they are cast sheep. They're upside down and they can't get back up. So when the shepherd finds the sheep, he needs to help them, and he has to get them back up on their feet, and then he has to carefully support and massage their feet, and until that numbness in their muscles are renewed, and they are able to then, walk and follow him. We too need our lives restored. Life has its ups and downs, and we need the Lord to turn us upside down sometimes and help us get back on our feet. And just as sheep cannot get their footing without their shepherd, we also can't do it without God. And there's nothing that can replace and help restore our soul like God. No entertainment, no spa treatment, ladies, no exercise, no TV, no vacation. It's, again, only God can restore our soul. And we really need to let God massage our muscles and renew them and restore us. And God will breathe life right back into our soul, and he will make us alive again. So how do you become alive? It's really simple, ladies. It's just being still with him, sitting down and spending time in prayer and reading his word. I can't tell you enough how much just being still and silent and reading his word has helped to really, really give me spiritual nourishment. It gives me rest, and I feel so restored. And it's in those moments that when you're restoring your soul, you are able to recognize the things that are not always, they're just not always going to be perfect. And God doesn't expect us to be perfect. So the second part of the verse is he guides us, or he guides me in paths of righteousness for his name's sake. As a single mom, I'm sure for most of you, you didn't realize how many decisions you were going to have to make alone. And I certainly didn't feel prepared for them all, and I felt overwhelmed a lot. A lot. And between what it's going to be for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, when is soccer practice, when is dance class, are your kids getting your homework done, how am I going to pay my bills, how do I discipline my children, and the list goes on and on and on. And those decisions, those worries take up time in our head, and they can really steal our peace bit by bit. And I know you know what I'm talking about. But the great news is that God is with us in all the hours of the day and every decision that needs to be made if we let him. Guidance is the principal task of a shepherd, and he leads his sheep to places of nourishment, but he also has to lead them on the proper path. And it's really important because some paths are very dangerous and they need to be avoided for the sheep. And the shepherd knows right where to lead them on those right paths. Today, ladies, before every decision, and especially if you start feeling worried about anything, stop and ask God to guide you. Remind ourselves that we can trust him to help us see clearly the right decision. And God leads us in every part of our life, every decision, whether it's small or big. And because we are imperfect people of God, it doesn't take us long sometimes that we forget and we choose our own way. And then we start going down those dangerous paths that need to be avoided. But here's the thing, he guides me in his path means getting there in a roundabout way. And it's God's way. If we start taking our own paths, ladies, we will go astray. But the important thing with this verse is that we need to allow God to guide us down his paths. And remember that he knows, just as a shepherd, what's best for you, and he will lead you into that right thinking and in terms of what to do. Take the pressure off yourself of navigating this crazy life of raising children by yourself. Stop making it all about you and let God have his way. You know, one thing that has really helped me on my journey in terms of accepting every moment is that I got to a place where I just embraced every moment, every circumstances, and everything that was happening in my life as, you know what, this is right where I'm supposed to be. God, I am here for a reason, and God has a plan for me, as opposed to trying to fight and be frustrated. I found that when I was able to embrace every single moment of my life, that this is right where I'm supposed to be, I was amazed at how much peace I had. And ever since I've been able to do that, I've had so much peace in my life, ladies. And I hope and pray that you can come to a place that you can embrace it and just know that God has a plan and he's going to help you get through it, and he knows exactly what you need. So in conclusion, a couple of things to take away with you this week is: one, God will restore your soul, and he's able to reach in that deep part of your soul, and he will touch you and he will heal you. And also remind, as a part of that, we need to trust God to help us see clearly what is the right decision, and he will lead you on the right path. And whether it's a small one or big one, he will give you guidance. And then lastly, take the pressure off on how to navigate life. Stop making it about you and making it about God, and embrace every moment with the spirit that you are right where you are supposed to be. And and it's a part of a path that's also a part of God's plan for you. Lastly, ladies, I encourage you to say a prayer this week and thank God for being with you every day. Ask him to help you to hear him more clearly and guide you through those storms that you are facing every day as a single mom, and to know that you're in a safe place. I'm so glad you joined me. I hope you have a wonderful week. And in 2 weeks, we will dig into Psalms 23:4. I hope you're enjoying this series. And again, if you haven't had a chance to see the first two, I encourage you to go out there and listen to those on our Facebook page. Have a great week.